So, race number 2 here for the Formula I drivers, driving the Renault 3.5. Let's see who we've got out there on track already, as these drivers have already began qualifying. Let's see if we can't jump out there on board with the 5 of Thomas Ziegler as he makes his way around the track. There you see it. Countdown to green in the bottom right hand of your screen. 22 minutes left here before the drop of the green flag, when these drivers grid up and get this thing fired off here today for the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. I must admit, I am a complete greenhorn when it comes to this track. I have never been here, so going to be an interesting call from the booth here today. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for you, I get to bring you some great open wheel Formula I action here this Saturday afternoon. Originally was scheduled to be at a wrestling tournament. Daughter a little bit sick, had to be pulled. So we are up here in the booth bringing you some great racing action. Now we are keyed in with the 11 of Emilio Fernandez Garrido as he makes his way around the track. We're going to go ahead and give you your point standings following our 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. It wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago that we were over at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix, how things shaked out there after that race. There you see your top 10 in the driver's points over there on the left-hand side of your screen. David Guild leading the field already just after race number 1, though. Long season left here. Over on the right, your constructor standings, Crown Racing walking away with the lead. Green Puma Racing right there behind them. So going to be an interesting battle throughout the season over there on the constructor side as well. And now you see some drivers mixing it up a little bit here on their qualifying stints. Oh, didn't mean to pop that one up for you. Tell you what, let's see if we can't get another view. Let's go back here, and we're going to jump on board right around in the cockpit here with the driver of the 15. That is Danny O'Keefe. Here we go with our turn 3 on board. Oh, and on the rumble strips and around Danny goes. So we'll jump back here now to the 02 of Carter Kundinger, who's also riding with our turn 3 on board camera. Unfortunately, due to update graphics configurations and things like that, I forgot to put the mirrors turned on, so you're not going to see anything out of those side mirrors there from these drivers, but trust me, they can see it. Looking around the track, looks like right now your qualifying is shaking out something just a little bit like this. Over there on the left-hand side, Thomas Ziegler sitting on top of the board. Danny Hoekstra right there in his 91 Tulip Racing machine sitting in second. Cody Sandwith in the 21 sitting in third. Mark Bruning, the other half of Tulip Racing, sitting in fourth. Both drivers from the Tulip Racing stable inside the top 5. Good to see that. Danny O'Keefe right there in fifth with his 15 machine. Cedric Veal right there as well. 6th position, Jason Siemens running in 7th. 8th goes to Emilio Garrido. Will Zoller in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 man on the screen right now, the 02 of Carter Kundinger. And just for And around goes the 0-2 of Kundinger. A little bit hot into that corner, and around he went. Danny O'Keefe back out on track. We'll see who else is out there on track. A lot of cars out there today. Looks like we've got about 24 drivers making it to the track today. 19 drivers have been out on track for qualifying laps. Still have Patrick Charlton, Stephen Grabowski, David Guild, Chris Tague right there waiting to put down a lap. Patrick Woodstrup off track in the paddock right now. Carlos Cotal and his 18 machine also in the paddock. Tell you what, this is a man that is sitting good in the points, so we're going to jump back here and take a look at this man right now, the 67 of Will Zoller, as he makes his way around the track. And you know, that is really going to bother me about these mirrors. So when we have a chance to cut to a commercial break, we'll try to fix that, see if it'll take effect. I'm not quite sure if it will. May have to exit all the way out for that to happen, and unfortunately I don't want to go through all of that process because that's going to leave you with about 10 minutes worth of commercials. So we'll just try to tough it out if we have to. Ooh, loose just in front of Zoller. I'm not quite sure who that was. Car off track. I believe that is the 0-2 of Carter Kundinger sitting off there to the right. Back to, I guess you can call it the front stretch. Back to the start-finish line here. There you see drivers going to be able to utilize that inside corner. Right up next to that wall, cutting across the pit lane. 15 minutes left here in qualifying as Will Zoller tries to go to the top of the board, and guess what? He almost does. He finds himself now running in the second spot. So Zoller doing one heck of a job right now. We'll go on, see if we can't see what Jason Siemens is doing back here in his one machine. Finds himself only being 8th on the board, so has his work cut out for him. Jason sitting about 0.7 of a second off of the race leader, not the race leader, but the qualifying leader, fighting for that provisional pole, Thomas Ziegler, up here in the 5 machine. Let's jump on board with Thomas, see how he's getting around this fairly big track, 2.62 miles here at, I'm going to mess that all up. I'm going to just keep calling it Interlagos instead. Bear with, yeah, you already know. In through the first, second, third corners here with Ziegler. I believe that's where we picked up at when he was on the front stretch and then turned into turn 1, 2, 3. Long straight here. That was pretty nice. Double left-hander. Zoller looking good out there right now. We'll see if we can't take a few other looks around the track here today. Your aerial coverage being brought to you none other than by Haywood Elite Wrestling Club out of Bethel, North Carolina. A lot of great shots out here in Brazil for race number 2 here in the Formula I. This is your Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's see who else is out there on track making up some laps, making up some time. Patrick Charlton out there in his machine, in a gaggle of race cars right here, all over each other. That is Danny O'Keefe just behind Patrick as they make their way around the track. Just kind of jumping through the field, here you find Carl Flemister running in his 6th machine. He is running in the 9th position right now, so looking good out there for Carl. And let's go take a look. Let's ride around the track with our focus on last week's race winner, the 2 machine. That's David Guild. He is only in 15th right now, so Guild's struggling a little bit, and he's going to bring it to a stop. So we'll jump up front with the 24 now of Cedric Beal, as he is running in the 6th position. Just a little bit over 10 minutes left of qualifying here today. So, man, oh man, there's going to be a lot of great racing action here. It's going to be a barn burner. And there you see the drivers hugging that inside guardrail, that inside concrete wall, coming back to the start-finish line. Here you go, one of our great scenic cameras here, just showing you how huge this track is. Drivers, a lot of drivers coming off of pit road, trying to make an attempt in a run at a better spot here as qualifying does begin to wind down. And I tell you what, just for purposes, in case we decide to go ahead and go that route. Oh, drivers going around. Big trouble there for a lot of drivers. Cody Sandwith was having some issues. A few other drivers almost caught up in that as well, but wanted to bring you a great, exciting new feature here that may be seen here in the coming weeks for the Formula I League. 3 different series going up as we speak. And if the Super Pole is implemented, well, ladies and gentlemen, you would have a countdown something like this right here. Those top 5 would be moving on to your Super Pole, as there's only 40 seconds left here before the 10-minute would be cut off to go after that Super Pole position. So just a little reminder there for the guys what it would look like, what it would be like if that is something that they were going to be again doing. And just like that, she's gone, and qualifying is getting down to the nitty-gritty here in Brazil for race number 2. The Brazilian Grand Prix for Formula I, riding with Cedric Beal as he makes his way around this racetrack. Jason Siemens has found a lot of speed. He has found himself all the way up to the 3rd position. Thomas Seeger and his 5 machines still sitting on top of the board. Will Zoller in 67 on top of the board. And Danny Hoekstra in his 91 machine. Shout out to Danny. He is running tremendously well here today. Both him and his teammate sitting inside of that top 10. Danny would be looking at making himself eligible for that Super Pole should that be, something that they decide to do. And that is a big time thing for a small team like Tulip Racing. To go up there and battle it out with the likes of Will Zoller, Thomas Zier, Jason Siemens, Mark Bruning sitting right there in 7th. Cody Sandwith is in 6th. Cedric Beal found a way to jump up to the 3rd spot, gets around Jason Siemens. That's going to shake up the final few positions. Not everybody out on track. Looks like Cody Sandwith is going to begin his last attempt out on the track. So now looking off of the front of the 24, Cedric Beal is making his way up through the track. A few other drivers out there on track trying to improve their positions. There you see Scuderia Portugal, the 18 of Carlos Cotal. He is trying to make his way up through the field with some last attempts at some fast laps here at Interlagos. Is hitting 14th, trying to improve that position. There you see Tulip Racing right behind this little pack of drivers. Oh, and I'm not sure if that was that was Cody Sandwith that went off track. That's exactly who that was. So not going to have a lot of time to get back into the paddock and get back out there and have a shot at really going for the pole. As we are inching closer and closer to the end of qualifying, just a little over 7 minutes remaining. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and give this man right here some well-deserved screen time. Mark Bruning, creator of the Blonde Bullet Motorsports comic, also partner and sponsor for the race and season. So give credit where credit is due. If you haven't already went to check out Mark's comic book, tell you what, go on over to Amazon.com, type it on in the search up there, Blonde Bullet, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Very good little thing. Go ahead and support a fellow driver's fellow iRacer, and I mean, what couldn't be cooler? I mean, seriously. Just a little bit over 5 minutes left here in qualifying for race number 2, the Brazilian Grand Prix, here on Turn 3 Racing Network, bringing you all the great racing action from Formula I here on iRacing.com, world's #1 racing simulator. There you see teammates coming off of pit road. They're going to try to link up and get his... Oh, and around goes Bruning. Drivers trying to go by. Looks like they will clear him. So Bruning with a little bit of a moment there. Back now with the 18 of Carlos Cotal. And I tell you what, it looks like Will Zoller, he may be... No, he is... he's called it an evening. He is out of the machine. A few other drivers also not in their cars. The 11 of Emilio Garrido, he is not in his car on track right now. But let's go back here with the 10 of Patrick Charlton. We haven't rode around the track yet with Charlton. So good to see both of the Radar Racing drivers on track here this week. It does look like Mark Bruning's bringing his Tulip racing machine back out onto the track. We'll jump up now with, man, sitting on top of the board, the Fast 5 of Will Zoller. He's had command of the pole position fairly early. Oh, and a little bit of a lockup. Wonder if that's going to hurt the tires here, but qualifying is almost over, so I'm not sure it's really going to hurt the car too much. Maybe a little bit harder for him to go up there and defend the provisional pole position, but don't think it's going to be any problems, any issues. Closest man back, almost 3/10, I would say. Well, actually, that's 2/10. I do apologize. Sometimes I can't see. Drivers getting close to the 2-lap mark here left in qualifying, where you should have enough time to come around and get 2 laps in. Oh, and another lockup into the early part of the corner, and Thomas Seeger, he's going to call it quits. Will Zoller still in the pits. Riding now with the man running in third, the 24 of Cedric Beal, as he makes his way around the track. Jason Siemens in fourth. Carl Flemister in his 6th machine up in the top 10, just in front of Emilio Garrido. Troy Banks also out on track. Dave Guild, last week's race winners, sitting in the 15th spot with just a little under 3 minutes left here to go in qualifying. 4 drivers have to reset, rehydrate, refocus, and get ready for the brutal race that the Brazilian Grand Prix is going to bring to these drivers. Looking at the leaderboard, nothing going on, so unless one of these drivers further back through the field is able to lay down an incredible lap, I don't think your top 2 or 3 are going to change. Only one in the top, well, only 2 drivers in the top 5 running right now. That is this 24 of Cedric Beal and the 1 of Jason Siemens. Cody Sandwith in his 21 machine is out there on track running in 6th. He finds himself a little over a half a second off of your provisional pole sitter, Thomas Ziegler. And Cedric Beal pushes the envelope. He gets the spot, but he pays the price. He spins it around. Jason Siemens also going around with that. Cody Sandwith now trying to make his way to the top of the board. Not sure if it's going to happen. We'll go back here with a driver that wasn't able to make last week's field. Here he is, rookie, the 35 of Graham Lawhead, as he makes his way around the track. He is sitting in the 20th position. Member of Crown Racing, and if you remember his teammate, that's right, teammate right here, David Guild, he won last week's race, and that is what has given that Crown Racing team not only the lead in the driver's standings, and Guild, he slides the tires under braking there. This double left-hander's gonna be a little bit tricky. I think that's gonna be a fun spot to watch here tonight. 30 seconds left here in qualifying, but as I was saying, Guild winning last week's race, that's what gives him the driver in the lead in the point standings, as well as being the team in the front of the constructor standings at 25 points. These drivers will more than likely be swapping those positions all through the season here. And there you see the drivers that are on their last lap do have enough time to complete a lap before the end of it, before these drivers have to absolutely bring it back to pit road. So we'll look at the few drivers that are still out there on track. Looks like the 10 of Patrick Charlton, he is coming down pit road. Patrick Woodstrup also still out there on track. And I might be crazy for thinking it, but I think that's the Green Puma. Himself and his teammate just in front of him. I think that's what that paint scheme is. No, that's Siemens Privateer. I am sorry. And around goes Woodstrup. Siemens has about 55 seconds to complete his lap to try to move up the board from the 4th position. Otherwise, Thomas Ziegler will walk away with the pole. 44 seconds left here in qualifying. David Guild still on track. Carlos Cotau, Carter Kundinger, Florian Neidl, I'm sorry. In the 9 of Steven Grabowski, they are all drivers still on track. Looks like Cotau has finished his laps. And will Siemens have enough time to get there to complete this lap? 10 seconds left. I don't think he's going to make it. No, he's not. Absolutely not going to make it. He still has to come up and over the hill. So qualifying set and done here for the Brazilian Grand Prix, race number 2 for the Formula I drivers. This is the Renault 3.5 Series. Already had the Formula 3 series today, driving the Dallara F3, and these drivers going to begin to grid up any minute now. We do have a few drivers taken to the grid now, so we'll go ahead, jump down here as they get ready to go. Green flag racing. Your starting grid for tonight's race looks a little something like this. Row number 1, your pole sitter, the 5 of Thomas Ziegler. Just to his outside, the 24 of Cedric Beal. Row number 2, the 67 of Will Zoller, and the 1 of Jason Siemens. Row number 3, the 91 of Danny Hoekstra, and the 21 of Cody Sandwith. Row number 4, Mark Bruning and Danny O'Keefe. Row number 5, the 10 of Charlton, and the 6 of Flemister. Row number 6 here for today's Brazilian Grand Prix, the 11 of Emilio Garrido and the 13 of Patrick Woodstrup. Row 7, the 2 last week's race winner of Dave Guild and the 18 of Carlos Cotau. Row 8 here today, the 02 of Carter Kundinger and the 22 of Jordan Thompson. Row number 9, the 08 of Troy Banks and the 23 of Jorge Gojilo. Row 10, the 20 of Florian Neidl and the 35 of Graham Lawhead. Row number 11, the 9 of Stephen Grabowski and the 33 of Pate Albin. Row 10 for today's Brazilian Grand Prix, the 12 of Corey Whiting and the 25 of Marcus. Row 13 heading out the field for tonight, the 16 of Chris Tague. And ladies and gentlemen, it is about to go down. We are about to go green flag racing. Lights are on. Lights are out, and we are green flag racing here at Interlagos. Look at the field. Fan out. Coming up to the start. Leader is away 2 and 3 wide through the beginning of this race. Already a lot of action. Your front 3 and 4 already away from each other, battling through the field now around the 8th or 9th position. Look at them right there. There you see drivers going to the inside. Patrick Charlton taking the position away from Jordan Thompson. Thompson falling through the field. Other drivers trying to snake their way through. Looks like your front 5, 6 now are looking pretty good, pretty stable. So we'll try to keep our eye back here as this first lap unfolds. There you see now battle up near the front. Thomas Ziegler going backwards. He has fell from the pole position back to 5th. And now look at Jason Siemens making a move to the inside of Will Zoller. Put Beal to the front. Siemens in 2nd. Zoller in 3rd. Cody Sandwith right there, in contact is made. Driver goes around. That is Will Zoller going around. We'll jump back, take a look at what happened with Zoller here just moments ago. Everything looking fine, everything looking all right. And just around he goes, no contact, just around the car goes, gets a little bit loose on throttle, and around it goes. Now back up to the front car. Cody Sandwith and Jason Siemens fighting through the first handful of corners. And oh, Sandwith is going to go around. We'll look and see if there's any contact here. I don't believe there was. Everything looks okay. Looks like maybe just hooked the car right there. Two fast drivers having trouble early here at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. The man up front right here, Cedric Beal, can now maintain and manage the race. He has got almost a 2-second lead over Jason Siemens in his Siemens Privateer machine. There you have the 91 of Danny Hoekstra. He is sitting in the 3rd position, just in front of the 5 of Thomas Ziegler. Thomas was your pole sitter, but has fell from the lead. Patrick Charlton right here as well, top 5. There you have it, the 15 of Danny O'Keefe. He is running in 6th. Jordan Thompson in 7th. Mark Bruning in 8th. And we're going to take a look back through the field because we still have some battling going on. There you see the 35 of Graham Lawhead. He is entrenched in a battle with Stephen Grabowski and Troy Banks, making their way up hill through the corners, back around to the line. Just in front of them are Jorge Cajillo and Carl Flemister. Will Zoller just in front of Grabowski, as it looks like Lawhead looking to the inside. Gonna back out of it, keep the car and tires on it. Now battling in around. Oh my goodness. Patrick Woodstrup struggling right now through that corner. He's trying to get out of the way and just kind of lost it a little bit there as we continue to watch Graham Lawhead trying to make a move to get by Stephen Grabowski, going down into the corner. Tight racing side by side all the way through. Grabowski gonna maintain the momentum on the outside. Lawhead gonna have to try that again just in front of them. Your next battle up through the track. Carter Kundinger right there on the gearbox of Jordan Thompson. Dave Guild right there with him. And it looks like Lawhead may be being held up just a little bit. Just can't find the right place to pass. We'll go up, join this battle just in front of these drivers. Carlos Cotal there, you see him just behind a pack of cars in front of him. And oh, looks like Cajillo may have had some troubles. He was very slow. Jumped back to see, nothing going on with him. Meanwhile, the man on the mission to dominate today's race, and where'd he go? The Magic Man. Now you see him, now you don't. Cedric Beal out there 2 seconds in front of your field, putting on a show here as you see battle beginning to heat up. This is Danny Hoekstra a little bit wide right there. Hoekstra battling Ziegler for that third and final podium position. Patrick Charlton right there waiting in the wings in fifth position. So should any of these drivers make a mistake, as Charlton now looking to the inside of Hoekstra, now has the preferred position. Is Hoekstra on the double left-hander back into another, almost a double right hand. A lot of cars smoking, a lot of little lockups there. Just behind Charlton is the 15 of O'Keefe. Gonna have to keep our eye on these drivers as they make their way around the track. And there you see just a string of cars. That is from 4th all the way back to 8th. So this Grand Prix not stretched out just yet. Oh, big trouble for, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's go back and watch that one more time. A lot of drivers going to have to be very careful here. Oh my goodness. Oh. I hate to watch it again, but let's see if we can't get a different look at what took place here. Oh my good, 2, 3 cars, 4 cars. Oh, and they go just flipping. Races are over. 4 cars. And oh, that is Mark Bruning, I believe. No, Danny Hoekstra. He was hurt very badly in that. We'll rejoin our race though. Ooh, sorry for all the replay there. A lot of good cars caught up. That was 4th, 5th, and 6th position all involved in an incident, and that is going to put a big damper on their day. I do believe they may have one fast repair that they're going to be allowed to use, so luckily Hoekstra and Charlton are back on track, but they are way behind the field now. A lot of time to be made up. Meanwhile, up at the front, Jason Siemens, your man on screen, he has been able to close the distance to your race leader, Cedric Beal. There you see just off in the foreground, believe a little bit of race management, tire management being done by Beal to ensure a good pit strategy for him and his team here today at the Brazilian Grand Prix. All drivers are forced. It is mandatory to have at least one pit stop during the race here in 38 laps at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and I'm sure you're going to want new tires at some point in time. Gonna work our way through the field for you here today on Turn 3 Racing Network for the Brazilian Grand Prix. So we'll jump up here first and foremost with your race leader, and this is how his day's been so far. Started in second, went up and took the lead on lap 1 and has not looked back since. That 24 of Cedric Beal is dialed in. Second position, just a little bit behind him, the one machine of Jason Siemens started in fourth, has made his way up to the second position as Thomas Ziegler, there you see it, started in first, fell to fourth, and has driven his way back up to the third position. Man, just behind him, Mark Bruning, creator of the Blonde Bullet Motorsports comic book and driver at Tulip Racing, sitting in the fourth position. Mark started in seventh, so a good gain for him so far. Here we have the 22 of Jordan Thompson. Jordan started way back in 16th and has driven his way, managed to come up through the field into the fifth position. So what an awesome driving from that 22 machine. And he looks like he's struggling a little bit with those tires. And we'll look at last week's race winner just behind him. There you see the 2 machine of Dave Guild. He is running in the 6th spot. Started in 13th, so a good gain from Guild as well. Now Will Zoller in his 67. He started in 3rd and has fell through the field to the 7th position, but still running inside of that points paying spots. Inside of that top 10, Carlos Cotal, there you see him in his 18 machine representing for Scuderia Portugal. Started in 14th, running in 8th, so great job by him. Florian Neidl, there you see him in his Scuderia AOD machine. Shot out to Florian with the Stormtrooper helmet. That's right, welcome to the dark side, baby. Love it, absolutely love it. Florian having a good day as well. And then right here, man, on screen, Patrick Woodstrup in his 13 machine. He will round out today's top 10. Other drivers through the field. Here we have the 9 of Steven Grabowski. He is running in the 11th position. Emilio Fernandez Garrido running in the 12th spot. Just behind him is the rookie this year, the 35 of Graham Lawhead. And let me see if it works. So Graham, my apologies, I'm using you as the guinea pig, but I thought this was really cool. Look at that. There you see it. Graham races in Formula E for real. And, well, he has awesome hair. I mean, you got to look at his hair. He's got some awesome hair. He really does. But sorry for you being the guinea pig out there today for me, Graham, making sure all of that was working. Hope you're a good sport about it. Hats off in the racing, and good luck out there on track, not just today, but in the real world, in your personal life. Now back up at the front. What happened to Jason Siemens? Jason has fell from the 2nd position all the way back to 6th, trying to look, see if there's any damage. Not seeing any damage. Maybe just a spin here. Don't know how far to go back and look for it, so we're just gonna tell you what, we'll see if we can't see anything. Not really seeing any off track or anything like that. Looked like Patrick Woodstrup actually may have had a little bit of an off track a minute ago, but Cedric Beal with the new fastest lap just a few laps ago, so his tires wearing in pretty good for him, and he has got a 7.5 second lead over the field. Looks like Ziegler hitting pit road to leave this battle between Guild, Siemens, Thompson. Between them, that is a good race. Guild, Thompson, Siemens all right there with each other, mixing it up through the first part of the track. That's one heck of a drive right there, I'll tell you that much. We'll stick with this battle right here. It's that's a good close battle going on. Siemens to the outside through that corner. Will he have the position here? Looks like he's able to make his way. Gets the job done. Has the position for the left-hander and back up to the right hand. Great racecraft being shown from these drivers right here, battling it for third, fourth, and fifth. Will Zoller is sitting in sixth. This is pretty much your closest battles on track, so we're going to stay with it, stick with it. Carl Flemster is running down the 08 of Troy Banks, so we will keep our eye on that one as Siemens cutting it very close there. You see off of the gearbox. We'll give you one little perspective here just to show you how close Guild is to Siemens as they battle it out for third and fourth, and they are beginning to leave the 22 of Jordan Thompson behind. Great job by those drivers right there. Mark Bruning starting to close the gap, close the distance on your race leader. Was 7.5 seconds, now down to just 7.2 seconds. So able to make up a little bit of time, but he's going to have to make up a lot more than that. There you see him just in front of the man we are on board with now. Last week's race winner from Crown Racing, the 2 of David Guild. He is sitting in the third position, and he is beginning to close in on Bruning. So Bruning going to have to keep an eye on that. Jason Siemens running in fourth. Fifth position goes to the 22 of Jordan Thompson. And it is a lonely world for this man right here. Absolutely nobody around him. May be beginning to close in on some lap traffic already here as Thomas Ziegler is just in front of him. That is very dangerous. Patrick Charlton right in front of him as well. So that is very dangerous for these drivers to go a lap down here. 12 laps into this 38-lap Brazilian Grand Prix. 27 laps left to go. 100 miles of racing here today for Formula I in the Renault 3.5. And I am not feeling good if I am Patrick Charlton. Charlton has made his pit stop. However, that pit delta is not going to be almost a second, so Charlton going to be behind the 8 ball for the second stint of the race. And I tell you what, your race leader's just putting it on them right now. Danny O'Keefe just behind your race leader. The first car 1 lap down when Beal decides to bring it down pit road. He will get his lap back, but he's going to be in danger of being put back down a lap later through this stint. 20 sacks. 26 laps left to go here for the Formula I drivers on iRacing.com, world's #1 racing simulator. Thank you for joining us here today on Turn 3 Racing Network and me up here in the booth. As always, heartfelt thank you from me, David Worrell, up here Glad you all could join us for all of the great racing action. Now the time beginning to click off more and more as Cedric Beal is trying to maintain a decent gap. Battle beginning to get underway. Here you go. That is for third and fourth position. Guild has made his way back around the one of Jason Siemens. So just absolutely amazing. These drivers haven't stopped, haven't given up yet. They are still getting the job done out there, running 14 laps into today's race. And Siemens back to the inside with the preferred position. And once again, to all the friends, family out there watching, sorry about the hiccups there at the front. As I said, originally not scheduled for us here today on Turn 3 Racing Network. However, some unfortunate circumstances led to the capability of being able to provide you with today's race, and things got off to a little bumpy hiccup there, but we took care of it. It's all good. We're still racing. They're still racing. Third and fourth position. They have not settled it just yet. David Guild has it. Siemens wants it. Will Zoller is 3 seconds behind them. No danger for those drivers, as you still see somebody sitting down there on pit road. That is Jorge Cajillo. He has been down there for quite an amount of time, being scored in 23rd, 9 laps down. Going to be a rough day out there for him and his crew. Looks like Siemens was looking there to the inside for just a moment, but thought twice about doing it. Didn't stick it in there. And while things have somewhat calmed down, we're going to keep our eye through the field. This is your closest battle on track. That is why we are sticking with it, but a battle beginning to form a little bit behind them between Florian Neidl and Emilio Garrido. That battle was for 8th and 9th position on track. Then we do have Cody Sandwith all over the gearbox of Graham Lawhead. That is for 12th and 13th. Troy Banks now give the position to Sandwith as he makes his way around Lawhead. Troy Banks trying to take the position as well. We'll jump back here with that battle for just a second. There you see in front of Lawhead is Sandwith and Grabowski. Just in front of those drivers, I say just in front of those drivers, but about 13 seconds in front of those drivers is Patrick Woodstrup, as Cody Sandwith trying to take all the positions away, and Graham Lawhead battling now with Grabowski. That's a close battle on track. 3-4 drivers implicated right here, as Danny Hoekstra, he is trying to make his way around these drivers as well. Hoekstra involved in an early race incident. Good to see him out there running back inside that top 15. We'll have to see if he can make his way back into the top 5, as these 4 cars are battling it out lap after lap for racing position. Coveted racing spots is every position. Oh, and Hoekstra's going to spin, I believe. Hoekstra spins it, yes. Yes, he does. Right here on the corner exit. Looks like he may have just gotten the throttle a little too soon. We're going to miss it that time. We'll go back one more time. One more time. See if we can catch it. And there you see it. There it is. Sorry, Danny. Don't be mad at me. But Hoekstra gets it pointed and righted in the right direction. Doesn't lose too many positions. Actually only loses about 1 position during all of that happening. Meanwhile, back up here at the front once again. 3rd and 4th position still being battled over. Now Siemens gets the position on Guild, and Guild falls to 5th as Zoller comes by. Now Zoller, while those two were battling, he closed in the gap That gap just a little over 1.5 seconds was a little over 3 seconds. So Zoller making his way back up to the front. Back a little further through the field, we'll rejoin this battle. That is for 12th, 13th. Oh, and a lockup, big time lockup for Grabowski, and he goes around. My goodness. There you see him just coming down the track, and big lockup, and not sure if there was contact. We'll look from a different camera angle one time. We can see it. Let's see from our aerial coverage brought to us today here by Haywood Elite Wrestling Club. We should clear the paddock and see what happened here. No, we're not able to see it from that vantage point either. One more time. Let's see if we can see it from the gearbox here of that 9 machine. Was there contact? I'm not sure. Maybe, yes, there was a little bit of contact. So Grabowski shoved through corner entry, and around he goes. Big time moment for him. He gets it pointed in the right direction. Hopefully the damage is minimal. He is still out there on track, so hasn't hit pit road yet due to that damage. A lot of different moments out there for drivers on track looking for your closest battle on track. Looks like Graham Lawhead, Carter Kundinger, as well as Stephen Grabowski. This is still pretty much your closest battle on track. The only other one is Will Zoller, has now given the position to Jason Sink. No, I do apologize. Jason got the position earlier from Guild, and Zoller followed through. There you see some drivers hitting pit road now. The 9 of Stephen Grabowski gonna put in his, close racing action there. Very, very close. And around is Hulkstra. Hulkstra goes around again in turns 1, 2, and 3. And Danny having a good day turned bad. Gonna find himself very, very close to being put down a lap. There you see him in the background. He has righted the ship and away he goes. But he is very, very close to being put one lap down here today. And luckily, your race leader still has to hit pit road, as we've seen tire smoke just in front. There you see it again. And I believe that's from Thomas Ziegler. A lot of tire smoke coming from Ziegler's machine. May have just cooked it a little bit there on the entries. Everything. Oh! And around goes Lawhead. Just loops it there. That's going to put him very close to going a lap down. Here we see him coming off of the corner. Gets on the curb some. And again, and around it goes. So Lawhead now just in front of Hulkstra, and both of these drivers trying to stay in front of your race leader. There you see him just behind him. And your race leader has a tremendous gap, 13.5 second gap for your race leader, Cedric Beal. So no worries in sight for Beal. Sure, his crew chief and car engineer are telling him, be mindful of racing. We have a big gap. No need to jeopardize it. And just behind those drivers, you do see a battle going on from, I believe that is Danny O'Keefe and Carl Flemister just behind Patrick Charlton back there. Those drivers battling it out one lap down. That will be for position whenever the leader does hit pit road. 19 laps left here tonight. For the Formula I drivers, this is race number 2, the Brazilian Grand Prix here from Interlagos. Thanks for joining us here on Turn 3 Racing Network. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, click the subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Tons of great racing action here on iRacing.com each week for your viewing pleasures. Also lets these drivers know you like and appreciate the action that they put out there for for you to watch and view and root for. I know a lot of drivers really enjoy sharing what they do with their family. Cedric Beal, your race leader, he's going to hit pit road. That's going to give the position to the 67 of Will Zoller, now taking over the top of the running order. There you see it as timing and scoring looks to me. And Dave Guild moved into the second position, but Cedric Beal already back out there on track. And I'm not quite sure. It looks like that is Patrick Charlton having a little bit of blinkiness going on, but that's not stopping the two of David Guild from racing wheel to wheel with him. And Guild up into the wall. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt his chances big time as he makes his way safely back onto the track. But look just behind him. Oh, and I apologize. That's Graham Lawhead that we were looking at, not Dave Guild. I apologize. Guild, there you see him. He is away and clear, but Cedric Beal has made it on and off pit road amazingly. And man, Guild was burning it up through there on the pit road. As Zoller is on pit road, that's going to give your race lead back to this man right here. Very, very comfortable race lead to boot. And it looks like the closest man to him, he is going to pick up a little bit of time. So a great race strategy there so far from Mark Bruning. Let's see if it pays off. Is he able to jump Will Zoller and Dave Guild, all of those drivers, with the undercut? Looks like he's going to be able to. He closes the distance to just under 7 seconds. A lot of drivers out there on different strategies, so we'll try to make our way around the racetrack for you here. This is your second place. This is your first place driver, the 24 Cedric Beal. He has been on a tear. 17 laps to go, 21 in the books, and Beal has led 20 of those 21 laps, now coming around to lead lap 22 of the day for Beal. And running in second, man on screen, there you see him. That is the 61 of Mark Bruning from the Tulip Racing Stable. So he's having a good day. And rounding out your podium, there you see him. Well, he's going to give up the position now to the 67 of Will Zoller. But Emilio Garrido, he stayed out on track trying to stretch it as far as he could, hoping some others would have some incidents, and he falls through the field all the way back to 7th now, yet to rejoin the racetrack. As we watched Graham Lawhead come back out onto the track right there. He is being scored 1 lap down, still have 19 cars on the lead lap here today, so a great job out there by all of these drivers in this Brazilian Grand Prix. A little bit of house cleaning and cleanup real fast while we can. 25 drivers started the field, the race here today. We still have 22 out there running, 19 still on the lead lap. Stephen Grabowski, first car being scored 1 lap down. He's being chased down by the 35 of Graham Lawhead. Pate Albin in his 33 machine, 3 laps down. Jorge Cahillo has packed up and headed away and home from the paddock. He will walk away with 23rd. 24th will go to Chris Tague. And rounding out the field, the 25 of Marcus. Neither of those drivers making it out of the paddock. So let's go now to battle on track there you see it beginning to take shape. That is Patrick Woodstrup, Thomas Ziegler, and Emilio Garrido right there with each other. Actually, Garrido's about 1 second behind these two drivers right here. But look at Florian Neidl up there inside the top 10. Great job from that. I believe, you can correct me if I am wrong, but I believe he is a team driver over there at Scuderia AOD. So great job from him so far out there today. Danny Hoekstra able to make up a good bit of ground despite having a lot of troubles here early in the race, and then later 2 spins. Hoekstra finds himself running in the 13th spot. Was running at one point in time early in tonight's race up inside the top 5. But this man right here, Florian Neidl, he is having one heck of a race, running in the 8th position right now, and that's going to bring it to the 18 machine of Carlos Cotal as he is trying to walk down Dave Guild. Big gap for Carlos to try to cut in half, or, well, he's going to need to cut it in more than half if he wants to make the pass, obviously. But right now, cutting it in half is your first concern. 14 seconds back. Your race leader will jump back up on board with your race leader. Here he is, Cedric Beal, as he makes his way around the racetrack, leading 23 out of 24 laps here today in the Brazilian Grand Prix. And he has got quite a comfortable lead over the second place runner, the 61 of Mark Bruning. And while we got a chance, while we have an opportunity, we're going to step away for just a quick moment. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss any of the racing action. We're going to keep it on screen with our top bottom here at Turn 3. And as promised, you have not missed any of the racing action from the track here at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix race number 2 here for the Formula I drivers on iRacing.com, brought to you by us here up in the booth from Turn 3 Racing Network. Appreciate everybody each and every week, each and every stream, each and every broadcast. Thank you very much. We all surely appreciate it. Now we're going to run through your top 5 for you, as we have just about 12 laps to go here for your Brazilian Grand Prix. Sitting in first, the 24 of Cedric Beal. In second, the 61 of Mark Bruning. In third, the 67 of Will Zoller. Fourth, the 1 of Jason Siemens. And in fifth, Dave Guild. That is your top 3 running order. There you see Bruning going around the lap machine of Charlton. So Charlton just kind of getting out of the way, moving his 10 machine off of the racing line, allowing Bruning to get by. Will Zoller running in third, just about 3 seconds back. There you will see him, 2 cars in between himself in the man for position, Mark Bruning. looking around the track, around the field, and it looks like the closest thing we got for a battle is this right here. We'll bring it to you. That is Florian Neidl and Carter Kundinger. They are having your closest battle. I do apologize. That's actually Cody Sandwith right there as well. In his 21 machine, Cody had some issues earlier and has driven his way back up through the field inside of the top 15, knocking on the door of a top 10. But you have got Neidl and Kundinger both from the Scuderia AOD stable, I do believe. And Kundinger having to bring it to pit road, so that's going to put Cody Sandwith inside of the top 10. He's going to now focus on trying to go up there and take the 9th position away from Neidl. Neidl focusing in on this man right here, coming off of the corner. Patrick Woodstrup is in 8th position. Thomas Eager in front of him. Carlos Cotal, David Gill, Jason Siemens, Will Zoller, Mark Bruning, and then your race leader, Cedric Beal. Well, Beal has not had much of anything to deal with at all race long, leading 27 out of the 28 laps here from Interlagos today, and we have now got 15 cars left on the lead lap. Danny Hoekstra trying all he can to keep his Tulip racing machine up on top of the, well, I was going to say up on top of the lapped cars, but he is not yet a lapped car, but he's trying to keep himself on the lead lap in case one of these drivers have an incident or something may happen here late through the goings in the race. He may be able to capitalize, and that is a great look at an awesome paint scheme, an awesome livery here for the Tulip Racing driver, Danny Hoekstra, as he is making his way around the track. And the man on the move right now, there you see it, Cody Sandwith. He has closed the distance and passed Florian Neidl. Let's go back. Let's see if we can see what happened here. And it looks like Neidl may have had a moment. Sandwith was behind him here. We'll take a look. We'll go back live with the race here. And Neidl through the grass. Big moment. Tries to keep it out of the way right in front of Sandwith. He's able to. So a big-time moment. Could have went a lot worse for Neidl as he is able to maintain inside of the top 10, running in that 9th position. But can Cody Sandwith run down the man running in 7th, the 13 of Patrick Woodstrup? And although it may be a battle kind of towards the back of the pack, but Carl Flemister, he is going to have his hands full. There you see Danny Hoekstra closing in very rapidly. These two drivers are going to be battling it out any moment. There you see him up through the final corners on the track. And now a drag race. And Flemister on pit road. Give the spot to Hoekstra. He's going to try to stay in front of your race leader. There you see him, Cedric Beal, just behind him. Only seconds behind at that. And Will Zoller, what happened up here? Will Zoller was able to come up and take the spot away from Bruning. Put Zoller. And Mark's falling through the field here. Mark's having some trouble. Mark has fell from the 2nd spot all the way back to 4th here. Everything looks okay on the Tulip Racing machine. Not quite sure what may have happened there, but falling through the field to 4th and now making the pass, getting back by the one of Jason Siemens to put himself back inside the podium positions, rounding out your podium. If the race were to end right now, your podium sitters sit like this: the 24 of Cedric Beal, the 67 of Will Zoller, and the 61 of Mark Bruning, battling right now for that third and final podium position is Jason Siemens. There you see him in his bright yellow Siemens Privateer machine, trying to take that spot away. Dave Guild trying to close the distance. Carlos Cotal sitting in sixth, 21 seconds back from Guild. So a lot of ground to cover. If you're anywhere from about, I would say, fourth on back, you're going to have a tough sled to gain any more positions. Things do look a little bit strung out. Carter Kundinger is battling with the 22 of Jordan Thompson. We're trying to stay up here with the battle at the front for you, though, right now between Mark Bruning and Jason Siemens, with 7 laps to go here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And Bruning doing a heck of a job fighting off Jason Siemens right now. Carter Kundinger will jump back here to this one as Carter's trying to keep himself in front of Jordan Thompson and Corey Whiting. And those drivers all trying to keep themselves on the lead lap as well, as your race leader is closing in very, very rapidly. Up at the front, though, is Beal being a little too careful right now. There's only about a 2-lap difference between tires right now. But Cedric Beal, he has given up a lot of time. Now just 5 seconds over this man here on screen, the 67 of Will Zoller. And Will has went Lewis Hamilton. He is hammered down, so let's jump on board and go around the track here with Will. And that is a lap around the track here at Interlagos with the 67 of Will Zoller. Is he closing the distance? No, he is not. It's staying right at about that 5-second mark, as we have got 5 laps left to go here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And let's check in on our race leader. No traffic in front of him. So traffic is not an issue, is not a concern at this point in time. Maybe he is just managing it, not trying to push it to get up in the dirty air, but also knowing that he can give up a little bit of time, as he's still got a 4.5-second lead over Will Zoller. Will has about an 8-second lead over Jason Siemens, so those top 2 spots are pretty close to being determined. Siemens has been able to get back by Mark Bruning. We'll take a look back here once again at this battle that continues to unfold late here in the goings from Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's race number 2 for Formula I here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And once again, myself, David Worrell, thanks you very much, and so does everybody else here at Turn 3 Racing Network for joining us every other week for some great Formula One style race in action. If you haven't checked these guys out, go on over to Facebook and check them out. Formula I, they've got a few different series. They've got the F3 series, the Renault 3.5, and they're going to be getting the Formula One season started and going here pretty soon as well. So if you're an open wheel driver, a Formula driver, and you want to get out there with some great drivers and have some awesome action on track, go on and look them up, Formula I on Facebook. We are riding on board with race sponsor, creator of the Blonde Bullet Motorsports comic book, as he is trying to make his way back up and around the one machine of Jason Siemens. That battle is for the third position, final podium spot, as we are in the midst of the final laps. Going to be 3 laps to go when these drivers hit the start-finish line this time by, and there you see Bruning right on him, right there. This is going to be a great battle here for the final podium position. We're going to stay right here. Siemens with the preferred position down into turn number 1 and 2. Bruning going to have to regroup and go back at him. Move made to the inside. Will it stick? Will it work? Not there. Not quite close enough to make the late break attempt. And Siemens goes really wide there. That's going to allow Bruning to make his way back up to that rear gearbox. And Bruning trying to get up and around him. This is shaping up to be a great battle for your third and final podium position. It looks like Danny Hoekstra, Mark's teammate, trying hard to stay on the lead lap, being able to right now, but it is getting closer and closer, and Will Zoller, running in second, has been able to pick up a half a second on your race leader. Now just 4.5 seconds between your front two, with 3 laps to go here from Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix on Turn 3 Racing Network. Siemens with a little bit of a moment there when he was getting on throttle. Rear of that car got a little bit tail happy. That's going to allow Mark Bruning to come back up and battle once again for the spot. Bruning on the inside. He makes the pass this time by. Can he keep it? Can he make it stick? Yes, he does. Siemens falling back now. Siemens having a moment there, I do believe. Let's take a look, see if he ended up going around. Oh, and a big slide, big slide. Didn't go around, but he slid, and that is going to pretty much put a nail in the coffin for the day, and that's going to give this man right here, the 61 out of Tulip Racing, Mark Bruning, the third and final podium spot, as we have got 2 laps left to go. What's your race leader doing? I'll tell you what, not worrying about a thing. That is what the 24 is doing right now. 4.5 second race lead. 1 to go, brought to you today by the Blonde Bullet Motorsports comic book. And nothing has stopped this man all day. Has led 36 out of the 37 laps here from Interlagos, now leading the 38th and final lap. An amazing drive from this man on screen. Cedric Beal in his 24 has gotten the job done all day long. Hats off to him. We'll have to go down, see if we can see anybody. Not really seeing too many out there as we run right now. So that's going to be a little bit of an interesting task to try to get you your post-race interviews. So not sure we're actually going to be able to do that. I think we do have one of the drivers that we can speak to that is still here. And race has finished. Race is over. That is it. Your man on screen, man in the middle, right there he is. The one of Cedric Beale, already cooling down his tires, already enjoying himself on the wind down lap here. Great win by him. Gonna take a moment, let everything cycle through really quick. Looks like your field's gonna look a little something like that here for the end of today's Brazilian Grand Prix. And while Cedric takes his cool down laps, we're going to step away here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Well, thanks for staying with us. Thanks for joining us for your post-race interviews. Unfortunately, the race winner, the 24 of Cedric Beale, has some prior obligations he's going to have to take care of first and foremost, sponsors and things like that. I understand they pay the bill. So walking away with a great race win here today, the 24 of Cedric Beal. And coming in second, also getting some IVs, none able to talk right now, a little bit dehydrated, is the 67 of Will Zoller. So maybe if he's able to come out of the driver care center before we get things wrapped up here in the booth, maybe we'll get in a word or two with your second place finisher, Will Zoller. But we have been fortunate enough to get a hold. Oh my goodness, and why did it do that? I don't know. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. There it is. There's Mark. We'll see if we can't grab him now and get a word with him. We were looking for him on track. Finally been able to find him. And let's see if we can't get in a word or two with your third place finisher for today. Mark, you got us?
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
Well, hey, bud, I believe this is the second race in a row I get to speak to you.
Yeah, that's correct. Except the other one wasn't a podium. This one is. I'm excited.
Well, either way, I'm excited. That's two races I get to talk to you, man.
You like talking to me?
I guess. Yeah. So how was the race out there for you today, man? How was it out there on track? I admitted to all the viewers and fans out there that I actually have never turned a lap here.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, man. I had a terrible start. I was like 11th after the first lap, and people were just flying by me on the start, and I'm thinking, I got to just stay out of trouble. And sure enough, in the first two laps, there was like 3 or 4 incidents right in front of me, and then I'm chasing. Danny was my teammate. Danny was battling with some other guys up a couple of cars ahead of me. And I'm coming down the straightaway, and all of a sudden I just see 3 cars flying up around, and I find myself in the top 5, and I just kept on going from there. I think I was running second by the time I got to my pit stop. I was catching up on back markers, and that was the guys that were in that earlier crash, so I knew they were going to be a little difficult to pass. So I figured, well, I might as well go and take my pit stop a lap early and not have to work around those guys. That worked out pretty well. So after the pit stops, I was still second, and then Will Zeeler and Jason and Dave, they were like, I don't know, 6-7 seconds behind me. But once Will got past all those guys, I could see him catching me about a half a second a lap, and I just knew that was not someone I could keep behind me. So, and on top of that, I made a little mistake. I think 6 or 7 laps before the end in turn 4. Didn't touch anything, got going again, and found myself fighting Jason Siemens right then for third place. And, Jason and I have raced each other hard in Formula 3 as well last season and the first season. And we raced each other hard. We tried to keep it clean, and I think we did. And his tires were clearly shot. I mean, I was behind him really close on on turn 1 and 2, and he just almost lost it there. And I went for it in turn 4, and I saw in my mirrors that he was spinning out. I don't think we touched. He said we didn't, so I think we were good. But yeah, we raced hard for third place there for a couple laps, and that was fun. And here we are, third place. I'm very happy with it. Way more than I expected.
Well, you mentioned it before I had a chance to ask you about it. Battling there with Jason towards the end, that was epic to watch, man. Really enjoyed it. Late race battles are always the best to watch. And man, Mark, before we let you go, maybe are you first? Let me ask: Are you heading over to the F1 race now?
Yeah, definitely. I want to try that out. I haven't had much practice in that car, but I just want to see how it runs on this track. Be fun.
Well, a big surprise for you guys. We at Turn 3, we were able to shove 2 machines in the plane and get them over here to Brazil with me at the last minute. So we're going to go wad up some machines out there with you.
Cool, man. That's great. Awesome. Great. Great to have.
And before we let you go, man, congratulations once again on a great finish to the race, walking away in third place, final podium position. Would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous? And if you want to do them in Dutch, by all means, my friend, have at it.
Well, I'm going to do the same thing as last time. Danny and I worked really hard on the setup on this track. We exchanged ideas. So big shout out to Danny. Danny, dankjewel jongen. We hebben hartstikke goed samengewerkt. Ik vind het fantastisch om met jou in een team te zitten. En ik vind het jammer dat de race voor jou niet gelopen is zoals hij had moeten lopen. Maar goede punten voor het team. Dus volgende keer beter. En nogmaals hartstikke bedankt. En hetzelfde aan Bert, onze teammanager. En steun en toeverlaat.
All right, Mark. Well, once again, congratulations, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That was the driver. Oh, brought the menu up again when I shouldn't have. Gotta watch doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes I just do things, But, enough said. Another one in the books. This was race number 2, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Nothing for us to do up here except give you your finishing order. There you see it at the top of your screen. Coming home with the race win today, leading 37 out of the 38 laps here today was the 24 of Cedric Beal. Amazing job out there by him and his crew, walking away in second. The 67 of Will Zoller rounding out your podium for today at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Mark Bruning in the 61 machine coming home in fourth. The 1 machine of Jason Siemens in fifth here today. The 2 of Dave Guild. 21 of Cody Sandwith finishes in 6th. And in 7th, the 18 of Carlos Cotal. 8th goes to the 13 of Patrick Woodstrup. 9th position today, the 5 of Thomas Ziegler in 10th. The 20 of Florian Neidl. 11th position, the 12 of Corey Whiting. And in 12th, the 10 of Patrick Charlton being scored. The first car 1 lap down. 13th position here today, the 22 of Jordan Thompson, followed in 14th by the 15 of Danny O'Keefe, rounding out the top 15, the 6 of Carl Flemister, and in 16th, the 02 of Carter Kundinger. 17th position, the 11 of Emilio Fernandez Garrido, and in 18th, the 91 of Danny Hoekstra. 19th position, the 08 of Troy Banks, and in 20th, the 9 of Steven Grabowski. 21st position, the 33 of Pate Albin, being followed by the 35 of Graham Lawhead. 23rd position, the 23 of Jorge Cajillo, and in 24th, the 25 of Marcus. Chris Teague does end up the final car for today's race in the 25th position. So that does it. That's it. It's all in the books. It's a wrap here from Interlagos for us here at Turn 3 Racing Network. Want to thank you all once again for joining us for all of the great racing action being brought to you on track by the Blonde Bullet Motorsports comic book in the Formula I series here on Turn 3 Racing Network.